cross-border brick builders. Anyways, Canadian Brick Builders. It's Jeff again, as normal, and Matt Gunning, no relation to Janie, at least not directly, from Georgia, has joined me tonight. He used to live in Michigan, so he's almost Canadian. So
I like to think of myself as Canadian adjacent. We could get CBC Windsor on our TV antenna when I was.
There you go.
And I have been graced to visit Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Windsor, Sault Ste. Marie, and Niagara Falls, Canada. So I have had a chance to sample your lovely nation.
Awesome. And Niagara Falls, yeah, because Niagara Falls, Buffalo isn't really I think, no.
The Canadian side is clearly better.
Yeah. Niagara Falls is, the Buffalo side is basically just like, it's Bruno. We just don't talk about it. Right? So yeah, it's episode 71, where we've had an announcement of a set today or this week, and made me bring up the title of, or the thought of, does LEGO actually make money on these things? Like, really? We'll get into it, but hopefully we'll have a few others join us as time goes on. But yeah, in the chat right now we have Maximus Stu 303, Eric Sith. Hello, both of you. General Kenobi. I don't know why Maximus Stu 303 is saying General Kenobi, but okay. Pretty good TV show. I enjoyed it. Brick Bunny's TV is here as well. Hello, Ben and Bonnie. So yeah. Like I said, Dave will probably join us shortly. Dave Sincere. He hasn't told me he's not coming, so that usually means that he'll be in. Just probably grabbing the bat and putting the kids to bed. Wait, no, that's not right.
He had to whip up some poutine.
That is a possibility. That is actually quite a possibility. We'll see. I don't know. So, but yeah. So if on the odd shot that I lose power, because we are going to have a few thunderstorms running into my area at some point. I've currently got a screen over here going with the weather. We got a guy in Ontario region that he chases the storms, or he's a weatherman, or he trained to be a weatherman, but he started his own app that a lot of people in Ontario and Canada use, and he live streams when there's potential for bad storms and that, and he live streams across Canada depending on what province it's in and stuff, or what I think he does it in the States too.
Well, so. Summer strong thunderstorms is really a North American thing. I mean, we get them here in Atlanta, Georgia, where I live now, but in the Midwest, we get some pretty powerful ones. My mother has a strong memory of the Palm Sunday tornado, which was like a super cell that was all across central United States in the, I don't know, I want to say like the late 50s, early 60s. She was still a young person. And I remember one year in Michigan, we had the storm front coming in. We were outside doing stuff in the outdoors, the yard or whatever.
Yeah.
And the storm front came in, and it was a clear squall line of clouds. It came right over the house. Mm-hmm. And the temperature dropped 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. And we went in the house, and it rained so hard. I actually was afraid the window might break. And it wasn't hail. It was just pounding
heavy rain. Yeah.
So I know, I know you can get those powerful storms too. So
yeah, it can be unpredictable for sure.
And of course,
sorry, go ahead.
You lost your power.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, late May we had a storm come through that was one of those, hasn't happened in many years, and it's a really rare occurrence type storm, and it knocked out a good 100-kilometer area of the province. From just west of southwest of us up to Ottawa, which is northeast of us. I mean, sorry. So everything's back to normal now, at least, thankfully. And then we didn't mention it in our last week's chat, but one of our major internet providers was down for 4 or 5 days 2 weeks ago. Started on the Friday of our chat, or Friday after our last chat. I forgot to mention it last week, but luckily David and I weren't affected, at least, and obviously Matt wasn't because he's not in Ontario. But
I was not, but it was like the day before the NHL draft, and a
Oh
whole
yeah,
bunch of like Canadians who tweet about the draft were freaking out because they couldn't get service, and
yeah,
you know they wanted to comment about the NHL, and so like I knew about it. I knew about the outage for you guys just because
just from other,
all
yeah.
these panicky. I saw these panicky tweets from people who were like, "I had to find a McDonald's to get a signal or something." This one person who runs like a hockey blog, he
Mhm.
was like, "I've been sitting outside this library just so that I could follow the draft."
For the record, Matt is also a hockey player, so he's like more Canadian than, well, I am basically. Um, I would say, but yeah, he's
It's
not professional by any means. I don't think though. He wants to be. So if you're looking for a 40-plus-year-old hockey player, I'm being nice. I don't.
so yeah, when we still had an NHL team here, one of my
Yeah.
friends, who's a big joker, in those days you opted into the NHL draft. You like filled out a card or you filled out a
Okay.
sheet of paper or whatever to
Yeah.
say like, I'm eligible. I want to be drafted.
Sure.
And so he was like 35, and so he opted into the NHL draft as just a joke, right?
Yeah.
He actually got like a letter from one of the NHL GMs who said something like, "You might be a little old," but like, so one of the GMs actually
I
responded
looked
to
at it,
the practical
but
joke,
that's funny though.
and he was like, "I'm going to frame this."
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree. So, but yeah, I mean, our debit system went down across the country as well because they were using Rogers as the backbone, and so I mean, it didn't affect me directly, except for when if you need to get gas, you had to pay with credit or cash, because the credit system was on a different network, thankfully. But I was giggling because I work for the competition, so we had
Which
no issue.
what are, else?
Telus is
Tell us.
yeah. There's three major ones: Rogers, Bell, and Telus. And Bell and Telus share the same network. In the West Coast, Bell uses Telus, and in the East Coast or in Ontario, Telus uses Bell.
Okay.
Type thing. So they share the network. So if one of them goes down, I think we share the towers. We don't share the networks.
Okay.
So I think that's how it works. But anyway, just catching up on chat here. Ben saying that he thinks there's definitely a market on the vintage items in Lego. Yeah, like I said, we'll get into the vintage stuff, but Lego did pretty well with the NES set, so Lego is cashing in on that. Oh, they already had the new Atari set way before, like built and designed way before the NES came out as well. But
well, I do think it's kind of interesting to me. So let me just clarify that I am of the
Matt,
generation. One per user, $12. Okay.
you can build your own minifig factory. Is that in the store though?
I haven't heard anything about this.
Ben, is that in the store? Can you let us know when you get this point of the chat in about 2 minutes?
I do think it's interesting how much Lego has been able to cash in on people who play video games. So when the Overwatch set came out, I don't play almost the only video game I ever play is Civ, which is an old game. And when I was a kid, it's online. Okay,
you can join us, Dave.
my mom was like, video games rot your brain. So I was not allowed to play any of the classic consoles that other people my age are excited about.
Yeah.
So for me, they have no personal nostalgia.
Yeah.
But if you look at Overwatch and Minecraft and I know I'm forgetting other ones, but when the Overwatch set came out, I bought one each of the sets, and then I listed the minifigs on Bricklink, and they sold for a lot because I think there were gamer fans who didn't care necessarily about Lego or weren't Lego, but they just wanted the figures. And I ended up getting like all the bricks for like half the price of the set. Plus, there was like a GWP that I was able to sell as well. So I mean, it was a great way to pick up some Overwatch bricks. I think the Overwatch sets had nice pieces. So like there were new sand green parts. The rocket ship that came in the biggest price point set had a really nice stand that used red roller coaster track in it. So those are nice. Again, I know nothing about the game, but I like the rocket ship that came with the Overwatch sets. And I was happy to get my hands on it. So
yeah. I mean, I still have a few Overwatch figures left in my inventory because I bought them when they went on clearance, and I had a few of them. So,
I did too, and none of mine have sold on Brickley.
hey,
I should.
Dave, or
I,
we'll see you soon, Dave. Is what I'm trying to say. Go ahead.
good to see you. Or we'll look forward to seeing you, David. The only one that actually I think is sold pretty well is the one that has the little the sand green mech with the little not rabbit, whatever the creature is, the little creature.
Yeah, okay. I think I know which one you mean. I brought. There was a tricycle, like a trike, a motor, a trike bike. I don't know what you'd actually call it. Not a tricycle, as in pedal power, but an engine trike. And it came with one of those big figs. And I actually brought those figs to Alabama for Brick Fair, Alabama, and I brought it just because it was like I was trying to get rid of large things that are harder to ship and cost more money to ship. And a guy bought all three of them.
Yeah.
At a decent price. Like I listed them just slightly below Bricklink average. I think it was $15 a fig or something like that. And he bought all three of them. And he did that because he said they're probably going to sell for more shortly because of the lawsuit and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I just didn't want to have to deal with them. So,
I will say that in general, those like maxi figs, like the Hulk sized and the gorilla size, those they sell very well. Gibraltar, yeah, thank you.
They sell really well.
I mean, I have a couple of the Hulk figures that I parted out from some Marvel sets, and you can still sell those things for like $12, $13 a pop. Yeah. So what?
Well, there's Hulks. I think Hulks will always.
But I would say that's true of almost any of the maxi figures.
Yeah,
they sell for over $10. I think it's extremely rare if you get one under 10.
Yeah, and I think it's probably because they're in the bigger sets too, right? Because that's the only way Lego can justify having them in a set is they have to have it in a bigger set because there's more price point can put towards that figure.
I haven't really analyzed it, but probably.
Well, I'm trying to think if there's any small sets that came with a big figure, and other than maybe the Moana set, because the Moana character was really big, but I think that was just a catamaran, so that might have been the smallest set. But I wonder what the price per part was on that one.
Didn't the Monkey Kid have that guy that's like kind of a teal color, like
Oh big, yeah, the big guy, yeah.
I don't know what price points those came at, but
yeah. Well, it might be something to look at. Dave saying you turn the Gillibrator into Futron spaceship. It's a good idea. I don't blame you.
But yeah, so, I bought 4 of those Gibraltar sets, thinking I could turn around and sell them for a markup, and none of them have sold for what I priced. And at the end of the day, if they never sell, I will open them up and just use the parts because it's a great parts pack. So if they don't ever sell, fine, I'll just pull them off my inventory.
Yeah. Well, when we were on a chat last Thursday, I guess it was, I was on the Old Grey Bricks with you guys, and I just bought I just gotten the Iron Man Hull of Armor, the latest one in. And as we were talking, I was mentioning I had the figs. I was thinking of putting them up because I bought 2 boxes, and you recommended I did that. And I sold one of the figs yesterday. Well, yesterday basically. And it was the Whiplash character. And when you part it out in the set, he's got his hairpiece on versus his helmet. So the guy asked if I had the helmet and the chains, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll throw it in. And as just before the chat started, I looked at the price of that helmet and it was $5. So I'm like, oh shit. But I sold the fig for $21, $22 somewhere in there.
Yeah,
so
a good amount.
I don't mind that, right? Like, because I have the rest of the set is like in plastic bags sitting here because I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
I will, one of the lessons I've learned is that maxi figs always sell, and dinosaurs always sell. If you're going to part out a set, you can always make money off of those 2 things. Dinosaurs sell, but the problem with the dinosaur sets is that you're already paying what our friend Mark likes to call the dino tax, which is the price per piece is already pretty bad because you're paying for that dino. Now, if you get a dinosaur set on clearance, that might be the case, but if you're buying it at full Lego retail, it's probably not that cheap.
Yeah. Well, and like you do, you buy sets day one and list the figures as soon as possible to hopefully get the best price out of them, right? So
one question I have for you is like, I've been listing some I've been rechecking my Bricklink inventory, and I went through all my stuff in the basement the last couple of days, and discovered that I had like 30 sets downstairs that were not actually listed on Bricklink. No wonder they haven't sold. You have to list them before they sell.
Yeah.
But when I price, and I'm curious if you do this for yours, because you're in the Canadian market, I assume as a U.S. seller that most of the people who are going to buy from me are domestic United States customers, and I'm not going to sell very much overseas. Partly because international shipping out of the U.S. is crazy expensive. Any small package is going to be $24 to ship. It's just insane. So when I price, I look at what is the cheapest price in the U.S. for. I mostly sell sealed sets. So I'll look at like new sets, U.S. market only. And then if I want it to move, I'll price it pretty close to the bottom price. Do you look specifically at other Canadian sellers, or you just look at sort of the global average?
I part everything out because I only sell parts because it's cheaper to ship parts.
Got it.
And in most cases, you get more out of a set worth of parts than you do for selling the set itself.
Okay.
So I literally have a wire rack on the other side of the computer screen that's full of parts, and so I just listed an average. Bricklink average at that moment is what I listed at. I did the same for the figs when I parted them out, because it didn't help with the figs because I was one of 4 people that had those figs available for that set, right? Because it's fairly new still. It wasn't really something you could go with the average price for the cheapest price, because the cheapest price was the average price pretty much. But
what's your breakdown of Canadian versus international orders for you?
For me, it's a lot of Canadian. I do get enough US, probably maybe 10% US, maybe 5% European or outside of North America. The problem, like you said, same thing for here. If I ship parts to the US, if it's a small one minifig, it'll be $12 to $15 to ship to the States, because we can't do it letter mail. We have to send it as a parcel.
Yep.
And I don't do tracking on those ones unless they specifically ask for it. Tracking doesn't cost that much more, but if I'm charging you $15 for shipping, I don't want to charge you $18 for shipping because, I don't, unless you really want the tracking.
With you, if you send it international, you get tracking to the border free. I mean, it's part of your price, but you don't get tracking once it leaves the U.S. hand.
I think it's similar here. But if I do it with tracking, it does, as soon as it hits the border, then you can track it through the U.S. Postal Service site because it is a USPS tracking number.
Got it.
They're different than ours. And the same here, if I order for something from Germany and they give me a tracking number and I see that it's going through their normal German postal service, then as soon as it hits a boat, I can start tracking it, or as soon as it hits the leaving the country, I can then go to Canada Post and start tracking it based on that number as well, and get the update as to when it gets into the country. So their service might not track it, although I think a lot of them are getting interconnected now. But
I think the U.S. Postal Service is whatever, we're big enough. We don't have to provide these things. People will ship anyways, but because I know if I buy from Germany, if I buy from Burkina, which is one of my favorites,
yes,
I can get tracking right up to my door.
Burkina.
Yeah.
In
fact, I was just telling one of our mutual friends here in Atlanta, who's also a huge Burkina fan. I messaged her, I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago. The U.S. dollar and the euro equalized, at least at that day.
Yeah,
and
you were saying that.
Dollar to the euro, and I was like, it's like getting 10% off on Burkina. You're buying in euros. It's priced in euros. So I was like, this is a good time if you've got US dollars to go buy in Burkina.
Yeah. Dave was saying that he sells more collectible minifigs and gets a lot of Canadian orders. Yeah, in Canada, we can send stuff letter mail as long as it's under 2 centimeters thick. So a 2x2 brick, if it's thinner than a 2x2 brick, in a padded envelope, sideways, right? That profile.
Wow, that's pretty fat.
We can ship it as letter mail.
Wow.
But it has to be under a certain weight too. I think half a pound. Well, 500 grams, half a pound-ish. I don't know, poundish. I don't know.
But if it's one minifig, that's probably going to be.
Yeah. One minifig, it's $2.20 to ship to someone in Canada. So that's where I get a lot of my business from.
For comparisons in the U.S., if I shipped one minifig in a padded envelope, it's typically going to cost me $4.50 U.S. now.
Okay. Then our highest, up to that 500 grams, our highest price is $6.18, I think.
Okay.
So, and that would be like, for me, that's probably, well, it's hard to fill a padded envelope with that much product, shall we say, right? Like, but yeah, it's we're okay. Like within Canada, it's pretty good. After that, I go to Europe to get my parts. If I can't find it in Canada, I go to Germany or well, mainly Germany, I think, because they seem to have the best shipping prices.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So
I mean, even I've ordered, from other German sellers besides Burkina, and the shipping always seems to be pretty fast and pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
I once ordered from Sweden, and it took a while, but the shipping wasn't bad. And when it arrived, the person sent it in this like really heavy duty container.
Yeah.
It was oversized, and I was impressed. Most people are like, let's pack it as tight as possible.
Yeah. And for me, I saw a lot of instructions too. So letter mail for me, like if I have to ship an instruction, like Dana ordered instructions a while ago, and it was fairly cheap. It was like under $10 to ship it to him. I forget how much it was because I don't remember what the weight was, but like instructions are cheap because they're paper, and I can send that as letter mail anywhere in the world, right?
One of the most painful experiences, I was rebricking the UCS Jedi Starfighter, Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter prequels, and I needed the R4 dome, which of course only came in that set. And went on Bricklink, there were exactly 4 people in the world who had them listed. The cheapest was a gentleman in France.
Yeah.
And even then I was paying like $60 US for the item, and then the shipping was like another 15 euros or something. I was just like, I can't believe I'm spending $85 for this one part that I need to finish the set. But it's a unique, there's nothing comparable. So if I'm gonna rebrick it, I'm gonna rebrick it. So I bit the.
Go ahead, finish. Sorry.
No, that's it.
Oh, okay. I did something similar. Not as much money, but I ended up. My daughter wanted to build the Voltron set, and it was literally like 3 months after Voltron was out of production. So it was like, oh, it's probably cheaper to build it or to part it or to grab the parts from my collection and get whatever else I need. And one of the parts I paid $9 for, and it was a plastic bag of all the little tools that were in gold because it was only on that set. And same thing, there was only a few sellers in the world that had it, and Matt just disappeared. Maybe he'll come back. There he is. Basically, I sat on it for a few days, and then a seller in Italy actually parted the set out. So he had a bunch of the parts that I needed to finish the set. So I just bought from him and gobbled up the night. Like it was like $9 for that part alone, whatever, for that little bag of parts. But I was lucky to get that because otherwise it was like $15 or $20. So he had gone lowball on the price. So thankfully that worked out.
One of the happy discoveries for me is I discovered that I had about, I don't know, 15 to 20 sets that were in the basement inventory space, but not listed on my website. When I went to call them up to list them, I had a couple of things that had really, jumped. And there was like a couple sets that were like $80, $100 sets that were probably like $15 to $30 sets at purchase time. And they have exploded in resale value. So knock on wood, they will sell and I can pay off my business credit card. I've been a little active with the Harry Potter gift with purchase. I went out and made 2 purchases so I could get two of those GWPs, and then when we had the 90th anniversary, I made 5 purchases to get 5 GWPs. I've sold 4 of the 5 already, and I've already sold 1 of the Harry Potter, and that's actually my shortcut to getting bigger discounts on Lego is to time them with GWPs, and you can end up saving 20 to 30% off your total purchase if you get a GWP that's popular and you don't mind parting with it. The Harry Potter one I sold for $50. I spent $160, $170 on the purchase price, not including tax, but sold it for $50 US. So about a third. I got about a third off just by selling that, and then I listed the minifigs that I didn't want. So I'm probably going to get the parts for 50%. There he is.
Hey,
Hey,
David.
Matt.
I'm
Hello, David.
just looking at Matt's sets on his store because I found him. Interesting username, by the way, Matt.
What, Falconer?
No, Sizerman or
Oh yeah,
Steve
Eisman.
Eiserman, but
Yeah, my
but
store is called Falconer. My username is S. Eiserman. It's for Steve Eiserman. He was my
yeah,
child.
yeah.
You may have heard of him from Ottawa.
We know of him. So anyway, hey Dave, how are you doing?
Good.
Dave, Matt, Dave, Matt, Dave. I mean, Dave's seen you in old Gray Bricks for sure, Matt. I don't know if you ever met Dave.
He joined us once while he was, I think, on vacation in Quebec City.
No, I joined Jeff's stream.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
And
no,
I was
he's in the chat. He's in Old Gray Bricks chat all the time.
Yeah. No, but I know I think I've been on a stream with you, and I think when you were in Quebec,
I think we had a week where there wasn't a lot of people in the Old Gray Bricks chat, so I sent a request out to our group, and I think Dave, did you not join in that day?
Yeah, I think so. I was
in
vacationing in Quebec City.
Oh yeah, at the time.
Because you were like, the kids were sleeping in the hotel room, and you were like on the balcony or on the porch or something. And yeah, I remember.
So, but we're sorry, go ahead.
When I used to, many years ago, I worked in DC, and I worked for the Embassy of Morocco, their embassy to the United States. And French is one of their two official languages along with Arabic. And so they employed 2 Europeans to help translate things from English into French that would be cabled back. And one of the women that was a translator, she was from Turin, Italy, which is near the border with France. So she grew up bilingual, French, Italian, and of course, then she learned English. Anyway, so she married her boyfriend, and they took a honeymoon to Quebec City. And she comes back, and I said, "Oh, how was your trip?" She goes, "Oh," she said, "it was lovely. It was the most European city in North America I've ever been to." She goes, "And they speak the most quaint dialect of French." It's like it's in a time capsule, and they have like their own words for things that we have words for in France. And she goes, "Oh, it's just adorable." She
Yeah, we do. That's the beauty and the particularity of being French in North America, because you're surrounded by English, and even in our own country. So
well, and I mean, even like Louisiana has its own dialect too, I think, right?
Yeah.
For French. So, so yeah, good. So how you been, Dave?
been good.
Good. Have you been doing anything, Dave?
No, I know you said build something, and unfortunately I haven't touched my bricks in a long while now. So
I built a few sets, but I haven't built something.
I'm waiting for my 10-497.
Your Galaxy Explorer?
Yeah.
Just the one?
No, the two.
The two? Just the two? Really?
Well,
just two?
For now it's just the two. Oh, I'm so jealous, Matt.
I only do
flexing. You're flexing right now.
My finger's over the remove button right now, but no.
I have to get cracking because I was sent an advanced copy to participate in the reimagining campaign, and I was picked to do a botanical reimagining. So I need to get cracking and either build a scene or redo it in greens or browns or something. They give us a fair amount of freedom as to what we have to keep the basic shape in the reimagining of it. But our friend Meredith, she was picked to do the Friends, and so she's going to Friends color it, redo it in the Friends colors, which is pretty obvious. But I was debating about, how should I reimagine it? Should I put plants around it? Should I put plants in it? Should I make it green and planty? There's a number of ways I can go, but I need to pick one and get built.
Stick to it, yeah.
Well, you could probably do a match between green and brown, and just add flowers to it. So
like a crater or like a landing plate that's grassy.
Oh no, just a ship.
Oh, you mean the actual ship itself? Yeah.
Yeah, like a green and brown triangle. Yeah.
The biggest challenge is that it has a number of the new wedge plates that are different shapes, and I may not have them in those colors. That's the biggest challenge.
All right. Idea: pull the engines off, put the engines off to the side like they're working on them, and just have vines starting to grow all over it as well. Like it's basically the planet is starting to absorb the
Light
chip
year
because
it.
they fixed it. Yeah, light
You-
year it. But he doesn't know that because he hasn't seen it yet.
Matt.
Anyway,
What a shame.
when
I'm
do you
not
have to
a
have it done by?
I'm not a big I think we have 4 weeks to turn into images.
So
So
sometime in August.
but I really want to get it done before I start teaching again on August 8th. So for me, it's like 3 weeks. I want to be done. So
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say because you wait till August 3rd, Lightyear comes on Disney Plus August 3rd. Watch it that day, and then you'll understand what I mean. Now,
well, the other thing, if you've seen the Star Wars prequels, there's some cool, scenes in the Clone Wars and stuff where they're fighting on planets that have exotic plant. And I thought about sort of, using that as a point of departure of just having exotic, galaxy plants that are in weird colors and whatnot. Because, it's space. You can have
Yeah.
whatever.
you can be on any planet
That's right.
for sure.
And it's Lego, so
Yeah.
you can build anything.
There you go. So Matt, what have you been working on other than building a Galaxy Explorer? By the way, notice Matt is in the BS corner right now. Just saying.
Well, I do have a PhD, which, as you know, means piled higher and deeper. That's what the PhD letters stand for. So
That makes
I'm
sense.
professionally trained in BS. So
So what have you been working on though?
So I put off building any official sets for months as I got
Yeah.
ready to go to Brick World, Virginia with, Mr. VW above.
Yeah.
And so I had some great sets that I was like, I really want to crack this open and build it. So really, since I've gotten back, I've done two things, which is sort the parts I got and parts drafts and whatever. And the giant mess that I came home to as I like frantically tried to finish things
And rebuild stuff, yeah.
scraped loose parts into a bucket. And
you always come back from a con with a big mess in your Lego room.
and of course then there's repairing. So the buildings above me, the black one was totally missing the roof, and the pink one had completely come off the base. So there was repair work when I got back. But I've been catching up. So I built the at, which is a big set, and I build a little bit each evening. And I built the at. I built the Everyone is Awesome, which came out a year ago, and I just hadn't built it. And then I just finished up the Starry Night, which I highly recommend. I think it's one of my favorite official builds, in the sense that it's very little repetition, in the sense that you do this like 4 times or do this 2 times. Like when you build a vehicle, it's like, you do things 4 or 2 times a lot. Or if you build the Eiffel Tower, you do things 16 times, and it's incredibly boring.
Or the Taj Mahal.
The Taj Mahal, everything is 2 or 4 times.
Coliseum was probably like that too, I'm thinking. But anyway, yeah.
There is one pretty boring section where you're building up the background, but even there it's not the same thing. Like each layer is a different mix of shades of blue, and you do have to pay attention. But the 3-dimensional aspect of that, where the village sticks out from the background, and then you've got this tree that's kind of wavy that goes up. It's really nice. It's really different. I enjoyed basically the entire build process. I want to sit down at some point and make a list of like my top 10 favorite official builds of all time, and I think I would put that in there, frankly.
Cool.
Sorry.
So I've been catching up on store sets that have been sitting in my to-be build pile, and I haven't built anything Maki, and I haven't built anything original since I got back from it. But I've chewed through the things that have been burning in my brain. Oh, I also built the 12 Grimwald set, which was Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a Potter person at all, but I like the buildings. I like
the building is cool.
And so I bought it to set in with my other modulars, because it looks, it reads like an urban building. And then a second copy of the set, and I'm selling the minifigs so that I can maybe either increase the height or increase the width. I haven't decided which one. It's either going to be twice as wide or twice as tall. And I'm going to modulate.
Are you getting rid of the hiding factor of it? You're just going to modularize it?
I will, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'd go wider then, I think.
So that's what I've been doing. And I really like the colors in that set. So
yeah,
it's very attractive. It looks very East Coast, New York, or that kind of, or London. Obviously, it's not meant to be New York. But
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my sets on the shelf up here to these 3 sets or these 3 shelves. So this weekend I grabbed a bunch of sets off there that I wanted to build, like a bunch of Speed Champion sets, which I only built one of, and I didn't sticker it, but this one here. And I have to say, this tile on the side, the red it's printed. It's basically a dark trans tile with
right.
printed on the side, and it just doesn't look right. Just the wrong color. But yeah, I built this, and I also took a bigger box out and built something that was designed by our very own Pierre Normandin, the dark red pickup truck, which is absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of nice snot work in here. Like basically all the fenders around here, they're all snotted in weird ways. And there's like one piece snotted in sideways just to hold it all or to keep it all in place and that. But I really enjoyed this set. I had a friend over as well, and they ended up building the one I didn't want to build because I already built it, the light blue European Fiat version. For the record, I had the yellow one as a reference, but so I have a bit of shelf space, so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to build all the big cars. And it was just after that I realized, does that mean I now have to buy the Porsche too? Because I don't have the Porsche.
Pretty much, I think so.
The Porsche is sold out right now, so I'm happy. Because if it's sold out and never comes back, I'll be okay. If it does come back, I'll get the email and go, crap, I have to buy it. Maybe.
I'm not a vehicle person, but I did buy for my husband. He's a big fan of the Volkswagen bus that came out a while back. So I bought it for him and gave it to him. And then
Did
he
I
only...
say it was a Ferrari?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, the Ferrari. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, sorry. What were we saying?
So he only built like up to the chassis, and then he just stopped, and it sat there. And I'm like, look, if you're gonna build it, just tell me. But if you're not gonna build it, I'll finish it. But so I finished it, and I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed that build. Again, partly because the one side doors open up and the other ones don't. That it wasn't do everything twice because you had some asymmetry in the build,
sliding door and stuff, right? Yeah.
And I would actually list that as, again, might put that in my top 10 favorite builds of all time. I really liked building the VW bus.
Yeah. Cool. We should probably do that at the end of the year, top 10 builds of the year, sets of the year that we built.
Ooh, great idea.
Yeah. Because it'll be different for everybody.
Yes.
Assuming we make it to the end of the year, which we should. And as for the rest, I actually can't really tell unless I raise this up. You can see there's some fabric on my lights up here. I've been trying to get the glare to be cut back on my bins. There's still a bit of glare up there, but I found some. I'm trying to think what they're calling it now. The fabric that you put over the camera lights. I forget what it's actually called now, or what the process is called. But I bought some of that. I did some magnets and basically put screws in the roof and put magnets on the screw heads, just so I can move it around and stuff. And I also have the lights wrapped with a piece so these this one's single wrapped, so the magnets are actually attached to the light itself, whereas this one's double wrapped. There's one attached to the light, and then I've got a draped one as well. Just trying to filter the light a bit better and keep the brightness down. I did it also in the light up here, and I bought a remote control too.
So in my Lego space, I've struggled with lighting for a long time, and I had a lamp that had like a lower lamp and then a top. So 2-tier like this. Yeah. But my Lego room is set up as a circle with a table build space in the middle. No matter where I set it, if I go to the right or left, I'm going to bump into the light. It's in the way. Yeah. And so Costco, do you guys have Costco?
Yes.
I don't know. So Costco had this light that you could screw in to the ceiling, and it is extremely bright. See, I'll show you. Like, it's really bright. Okay. And it's got 3 panels, and so I finally put it in, and it's fantastic. I mean, I love this thing because if you're building, it's very well lit, but I get the biggest shine off my dome.
Well, I'm just realizing I'm getting.
So that's why you're putting your cap. You always have your cap on.
Well, I'm a hat guy all the time, so I would probably wear the hat. I wore the hat even lighting. But if I don't wear the hat, it's like blinding.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just me in here building by myself, it doesn't matter. I'll take the hat off because the light is nice and bright. But for video purposes, it's too.
Yeah, the diffusing cloth is what they call it.
Okay.
Just to diffuse light. So yeah, and I've got, like I said, I've got it on this light up here, but depending on how I sit, it kind of changes the reflection off my forehead as well. So,
well, you are blessed with a nice full head of hair, Mr. VW.
Yes, and it looks blonder than it is because of that light. But anyway, hello, Axle Plate, welcome, Dave and Falconer as well. That's good night, which actually is hello because it's nighttime. But
yeah.
So one of the things that I was going to do is I bought a damaged Home Alone from our local store, partly because I had 143 of these new brown masonry bricks. And I thought I'd hard it out because it has a lot of white windows and it has a lot of these brown bricks. But then I went on Bricklink and I thought, well, is this actually a rational choice? And so I looked and I could buy 200 of the bricks at like, I don't know, 15 cents a piece. And so I finally was just like, you know what? I'll go spend $35 to just buy the bricks that I want and not drop $200 on a set.
Yeah.
And I'll list the set on my Bricklink store. So I'll sell the set and at least break even, maybe. But if I produce brown bricks, just go buy the brown bricks, Matt.
Yeah. Well, it depends if they're available though. Like, are you buying them off of Bricks and Pieces or are they even on Bricks and Pieces in
Bricklink store in the U.S. So I didn't have to pay a fortune. And the store that I bought them for had like 2,400. So they probably broke down like multiple copies of sets. But they
got the pieces from Bricks and Pieces before they pulled them, like when they revamped the program.
I don't know that this particular brick made it on before they pulled it.
I think it was. Yeah, I don't know that I actually ordered it, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Because I made sure I tossed a couple orders in right before they pulled the plug. And I'm very thankful that I did because I got my hands on parts that are hard to get right now. So
yeah. I'm just opening up my spreadsheet because I keep track of. I haven't looked at this spreadsheet for a while, but I do keep track of
Jeff and his spreadsheets.
Don't talk to Matt about me and my spreadsheets because he's worse than I am.
Yeah, I know. You're both spreadsheets guys.
Yeah, he prints his. I just use mine electronically. I have it listed at 17.
No, but he's a teacher, and you're like an IT guy. So
yeah, this is true.
I will periodically go and mark them up. Like if as I sort stuff out, I'll mark the physical copy while up in the room, and then when I'm back down in my computer room, I'll just update the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just. I'll throw this up in a second here. Sure. Just because spreadsheets. So I basically have like this is basically what was available on Bricks and Pieces, and I can tell by just some of the information I have filled out that it was available on Bricks and Pieces beforehand at 17 cents. Probably not available now.
It's interesting because 17 cents is the price I paid on Bricklink. So I didn't have to pay any markup other than shipping. But.
Yeah, which you would have. Well, no, you wouldn't have to pay on thing anyhow. But yeah. But since we're here, let's just jump into the news.
Yes,
because we do the news. In case you didn't know, Matt. I don't know if
the news.
Sure.
That's our special effect.
So first thing that came up I saw was that Netflix is bought the studio that made the Lego movie and all the subsequent Lego movies. So the animation house. Netflix has purchased them. They've done a bunch of other stuff. They've done work in Happy Feet, Sucker Punch, Captain Marvel, things like that. But they're also well known for all the Lego content movies. So I don't think that means that company is going to be doing a Lego Netflix video or anything like that. But you know, it's a slow news week because we only have like 8 or 10 tabs, and so that makes this news. Next up, we haven't talked about this one yet. So there's rumored Lego Indiana Jones sets for next year because the 5th movie is coming out next year as well. And the rumor has it that I think it's 5 sets that are based on the existing movies. Now, these are all the pictures of the old sets that they have in here. But they did have the names and parts and availability and prices and stuff. So there'll be a fighter plane chase set once again, Escape from the Lost Tomb type set, Temple of Doom set, which probably would have roller coaster track or something for the actual
Probably.
rail cars.
Will they rip the beating heart out of the victim though? Because that was highly controversial in the United States.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. This came from Promo Bricks. Let me just pull that up and see.
The Temple of Doom directly led to the PG-13 rating being created in the United States.
Oh yeah,
because it was rated PG, and people were like, "That's too graphic for children." So they came up with basically the teenager version of PG as a result of the ripping the heart out of the breast.
Yeah, interesting. There is a 4 set priced at about 150 US, which is speculated to be maybe an Indiana Jones 4 Crystal Skull set.
Cool.
But the remaining 4 sets will be for the new movie when it comes out. So obviously, Avatar is the same scenario, and that we'll get to that in a few minutes because that got announced today. But yeah.
The other thing I'll say about the Indiana Jones movies is that during COVID, we decided to go back and watch a number of classic franchises. Yeah. That franchise is not aged particularly well. Not so much, no. There's a lot of xenophobia and not lack of respect for cultures in these movies. I'm sitting there cringing. I'm like, oh yeah, you wouldn't do this today.
Yeah.
And even the action sequences were not great, even by today's standards. But as a kid, I loved them. So there's that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Sorry, I'm just quickly looking at Ben saying he liked the eyeball soup and the chilled monkey brains.
Yeah.
Snake surprise. All right, next up. So as Matt mentioned earlier, he purchased a few copies of this set by buying sets. So last week, the day after our last chat, the Harry Potter Grand Staircase promotion went live in North America, and it sold out. Because that's the next news article. Literally.
It sold out.
Later. It went online, and it sold out.
Online. Sold out.
Because I went to my local store and they had it, but they didn't have the set I wanted, so I bought it off of Shop Lego, and they still have a gift available.
It took about 4 days.
Okay,
but
4 days.
I didn't buy it because you had to buy a Harry Potter set, and I just didn't feel like buying any Harry Potter sets. I controlled my urge to buy this set. Coincidentally, Matt has some copies, so I might buy one from him. No, I'm just
honestly, I'm quite surprised how many Harry Potter fans there are still out there.
Yeah. Well, Harry Potter's still going on. Like the universe is still in existence.
But I don't know, the latest movie. I saw the first one of the latest movie, not the second and third one. But I mean, it's not the same thing. It's not Harry Potter. It's not.
Agreed. It's just the same universe, right? But
yeah. But so I'm surprised that Harry Potter sets are doing that well, even though there's no movies out, no new books, I mean, it gets zero promotion, and the sets are still selling out. And
think of it this way, David. Though every year there's a new age of kids that start reading the series.
Yeah, and every year there's a new Lego set.
There's a constant renewal of the fan base of that because the kids reach the age where they start reading the books. When I worked at our local Lego store, I worked there for 2.5 years. The Harry Potter license had basically just expired. And no kidding, every single week we would have parents and kids come in and ask for the Harry Potter sets. And we would say, well, we don't have them anymore. And the manager that I had, he would get slightly exasperated because he said, if all these people had bought Harry Potter the first time, we would still be selling it. But it didn't sell like hotcakes the first round. It sold okay, but not like Star Wars. And so when they brought it back for the second round, I think, I don't know, just the built-in fan base, it sells well. It's kind of like Star Wars, but for wizards, I mean, even if there's no new movie, it sells well.
And I think they upped the production quality of the sets too. Like the sets are just better overall now.
Yeah, the first wave was kind of disappointing. There were a few sets that were not at par with the rest of the Lego line.
But I mean, they're now at the point where they're rehashing all the old sets, right? Like, because there's not much more content you can build. So
But But the second Diagon Alley is so much better than the first one,
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It-
Well, so much bigger too.
And I bought the Diagon Alley again, not because I like Harry Potter. I sold my minifigs, but I wanted the buildings, and I
Yeah.
thought the buildings were fun. I liked what they did, so I bought the set just for the buildings.
I recently learned the Harry Potter castle that exists. I recently learned that someone had created an alternate build for it, and I'm trying to find it right now. I'm trying to remember what the set name is. Castle. I'm just searching for it. But in the alternate, sorry,
Hogwarts.
Yeah, Hogwarts is probably a better way to say it.
Yeah, I still remember my manager being slightly exasperated behind the door, and he'd be like, "If these people had just bought the set, we never would have stopped selling it."
Yeah. I searched for Hogwarts, and what did I get?
Hogwarts. That could be a website. Alterwarts.
Alterwarts.
There we go. Hogwarts Great Hall. Where's the castle? Here it is. Here. Oh yeah. There's the.
I have one of those for sale. My Bricklink store.
Well, there you go. And it's going up soon. So, a university. Look at this one.
Ooh.
And I was like, huh. It costs £25 to buy the instructions because that's how Rebrickable works. But I'm a little interested in that because I've been debating whether or not to take apart the castle, and I don't really need the tan right now. So maybe I might.
I have so much tan. I should just buy those instructions and see if I have the bricks enough to build.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can always bricklink what you don't have, or open your box. But but I mean, Rebrickable also uses parts that aren't in the set as well, I believe.
I've had good. I've bought a number of things off Rebrickable. The cathedral that I built was a Rebrickable set. And, I bought a American style high school, which I haven't built, but I just got the instructions this year, getting ready for Brick World. But I may build that one in the fall.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I'm not sure how this works exactly. I have to figure it out. But I know there's the potential to maybe build a university, or I'll just build my own. But I don't know. Be interesting to try out. But anyway,
that could be your project, Jeff.
That could be a project. Although, like I said, I want to kind of build my own things, and I haven't gotten there yet. But we're getting there. Anyway, that wasn't supposed to pop up yet.
Spoiler.
So last week the Bindi Bowser set was revealed, and San Diego Comic-Con starts this week, and so now they've built a large-scale, full-size Mighty Bowser who stands 14 feet tall. Full size to whom? That's up to your own interpretation. Our own Boone Builds. I say our own because Boone Builds has been on Old Gray Bricks before. He's actually at Comic-Con doing some interviews and stuff, like doing one of the panels. So if anybody is interested in watching that, keep your eyes open for it. I'm pretty sure Boone will post about it, but yeah, that's only 663,000 pieces and 3,200 hours to build. So you seeing how much brick is in that? I don't think my castle was 400,000 pieces as I estimated. I don't know. Now I'm wondering.
So how do you feel about sets that take 600,000 pieces? On the one hand, it's impressive, but on the other hand, I feel like it's almost like keeps new people from feeling like they can't even possibly build because there's these enormous things.
Sorry, I just read what my sister wrote. 25 pounds for that instructions. I have a spare 25 pounds. That was actually euros now that I think about it. But anyway, but yeah, but at the same time, Matt, no one's building a 14-foot tall Bowser sculpture.
Sure.
Right. So
it's 14 feet.
14 feet tall.
Oh my.
Yeah, so it's full size, is what I was trying to say. Like full size to a human-sized Mario.
Yeah.
They need Chris Pratt in there.
They need to screenshot in a human, like a humanoid figure, just to give you a sense of how enormous that thing is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they haven't done that, but I'm pretty sure we'll see that soon enough.
That sounds like something that they would build once and then ship it to one of be like a Lance in the world.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know where it will live afterwards. I guess is there a Super Mario World in one of the theme parks somewhere? Not in Lego parks, but didn't they open up a Super Mario thing in one of the Universal?
Probably in
places?
Japan.
Yeah, in Japan maybe. Who knows?
Or Nintendo Park, at least, at the very least.
Next up is Dave's favorite, who like last Wednesday Dave was saying if this set was announced, I'll buy it because we knew it was going to be announced.
And I'm very tempting to pre-order it.
Oh,
Very tempting. Yeah, it's available for pre-order.
Oh,
You're gonna get it October 1st.
$140, I want to say Canadian.
Well, 150 Canadian.
149.99.
So.
I never did open up shop at home.
But I'm kind of disappointed that it's missing two key characters.
Oh,
it's missing Andy and it's missing Aaron.
Okay.
So
Wait.
And
Aaron was the secretary, wasn't she?
Yeah, the secretary who replaced Pam.
Okay.
And Andy was like Andy Bernard, who in the last season is the manager of the branch. So.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, maybe they'll do a spin-off sequel. Maybe they'll do the warehouse next.
Well, the set is actually missing like part of the office. You don't have Angela's office. You don't have Oscar's office. You don't have Creed's office. That whole section that you see up front is missing. Yeah. So I'm again tempted to finish the office by adding desk and having a whole office there. Because I'm a big fan. Hello, Jeff.
Smile and nod. I'm smiling and nodding. I didn't watch the show. I don't know. The static sound you hear is Matt's air conditioner, by the way. So don't worry about it, Matt. Just we hear it every so once in a while.
I turned it back on because it got really hot.
Yeah. No, I know.
I'll mute myself.
Yeah. It's okay. I heard it start up again, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So yeah, my air conditioner is running too, but it's far enough away that my mic I don't think picks it up.
Well, this is a window unit because my room sits over a hot garage and it's got side only one wall faces the rest of the air conditioning. So this room is always warmer in the summer, and I didn't cool it sufficiently before showtime. So I'll turn it off in a couple minutes.
No, it's okay. You don't worry about it, Matt. We know what it is. So if someone wants to complain about it, then too bad. So. But yeah, so coming August 1st, I've actually just started I've been working on a list of sets that are coming out August 1st. I want to try and drop a video this week, maybe kind of put that together.
But like I said, I'm very tempted to pre-order it. Yeah. Because I'm a fan of the show, and I'm probably gonna complete The Office.
Of course, yeah. And the warehouse? Are you gonna build the warehouse too?
No, I'm not gonna build a warehouse.
That's the only thing I know about the show.
I'm not gonna even put the annex and the kitchen, and because you have the kitchen and then the annex, then the break room. I should
probably watch the show.
Well, it's a good show. It was a good show.
I just haven't had time to jump in it. So.
Well, you have to push through the first season. If you push through the first season, then the second season and all the rest, it gets way better.
It's one of those.
Yeah,
it's one of those. Okay, fair enough. All right, so Axel played a little while ago mentioned new Avatar sets, and that's actually our next announcement, which was released or announced today, just before San Diego Comic-Con. There are an additional 4 Avatar sets coming out, and they will come out October 1st. 3 of the 4 are listed on Shop at Home. The Brickheads one is not listed yet, but just actually getting to the pictures because they should be in here. Are the pictures not in here? Oh, there we go. So there's the Avatar Natiri and Thanator
Amp Suit
versus Amp Suit. So this is the mech. These are all from Avatar 1, the first movie.
Yeah.
So this is one of the final battle scene, or one of the final battle scenes, which I love. The suit looks pretty good. It's got that 4 Juniors leg joint in here, which I'm kind of bummed about, but it's a pretty cool looking suit. I probably like it
Well,
because it's sand green.
you can always like modify it. And
Yeah, well, agreed.
it's Lego.
It's Lego. It is. And it also
You don't
comes with a
like
little,
it? Build another one.
It also comes with a little forest section in the background. So this is the $39 price range US. I think it was 50 Canadian. I should open that up actually.
Well, on British Brick, they said it was going to be disclosed, so they didn't have the
prices are already on Shop at Home.
Nope.
So yeah, that one's $59. See, now I have tabs open, and now I got to find, where is it? Sorry, there. Next up, we have, there's another shot of it. He's got the vibro axe thingy, chainsaw, whatever you want to call it.
One question I have is, are the minifigs regular scale, or are they taller? Because in the Avatar movie, they're supposed to be
taller.
Yeah, the Avatar figs are using the original Woody legs and Woody body part, so they're like a brick. They're 2 bricks taller. Basically, I think it works out too. Next up is the Avatar Jake and Atari first Banshee flight set. This one's available for pre-order, so it's just their first flights on their Banshees. So again, you get a little bit of a rock display and the actual animals as well. This one comes with glow in the dark carrots because I thought white carrots were interesting because they were in that farm truck that I bought, and then I had to research white carrots. It's a totally different story. But now they have glow in the dark carrots too. White carrots don't have carotene in it, so people that have carrot allergies can actually eat white carrots because it's a carotene allergy. Anyway, didn't know about that.
I was commenting to one of my friends via text when those pictures came out today, and I said, "This is my surprised face at learning that the carrot part was recolored and like we've had a brown carrot now and a white carrot, and now it looks like glow in the dark carrot. So that is not a part that I would have guessed would end up being recolored multiple times. So
it's a banana.
Kudos to Lego for running with the banana colors and the carrot
colors and the cherry color. No, what was the other? Oh, the hot dog colors. They came in a bunch of different colors too. And I mean, it totally makes sense because all those parts are usable for other things. But it's like, oh, okay. So this also has a new piece here as well. It's like a 2x4 tiled stand, and then it's a column with a Technic pin in it, but it's a half a column, like a half a round column. So I haven't been able to see what the top is. I'm guessing it's just 2 studs, like a rounded column. But that had popped up, and obviously like the dragon head pieces, like there's some custom animal parts as well because that's what they do. This set is in the, I think it was 120 Canadian price. I'm just pulling it up again. There it is. 129. The other one was $80. This one's 129. So it's the most expensive of them.
Ouch.
Canadian, yeah. Which, I mean, for me, this is the one I'd be interested in because it has the chopper in the building and the wheelchair. Like it's a good parts pack, I would say.
It's a good parts pack, but it's an expensive one because for 887 pieces at $130.
Yeah.
Ouch.
True.
And everybody's going to need to army build the blue horses, right? Who doesn't need blue horses
with the weird head?
Well, and 6 legs, but it's just a horse, right? It's a horse, of course. Trying to move my mouse here.
And if there's one thing Lego fans are short on, it's helicopters.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I was expecting a helicopter to come out. I was hoping maybe for a UCS type chopper, but like if they did a UCS set for Avatar, I don't know what they would do. Probably wouldn't be the helicopter. It'd probably be one of the animals or something like that, one of the creatures. But this is also first time we get I'm trying to think of her name in real life, the female pilot from Fast and Furious as well. She's never been in a figure in any sets before as an actress, so hoorah. I don't know. And last up is Brickhead, Jake and Sully. This one I don't have a price on Canadian because it's only an American price. Is $19.99 the current price for the double Brickheads, Matt?
I'm sorry, what was the price again?
$19.99 US. Is that usually what you pay for the 2-pack Brickheads?
Yeah.
So that might not be a price adjusted set. which means that'll probably be a third. I was going to say $25 set, but maybe a $30
Probably.
Canadian. And it's basically Jake and Jake Sully, his avatar form and his wheelchair form, or his human form. Maybe that's a nicer way to say it. Sorry. But yeah, this one isn't available yet or listed yet on Shop at Home. So I'd assume it's also an October 1 release. Yeah.
If you will scroll back up to one set prior, the one part that I wanted to point to is the trans-clear girder piece that's right there.
Yeah. And that's this. Yeah.
Enormously popular with anybody who has a flying vehicle who wants a trans-clear piece to support. True. I could see that thing selling out like bonkers on Bricks and Pieces whenever it shows up, because I think a ton of builders are going to love to have a really big trans-clear piece so they don't have to stack, 20 one by two bricks just to hold something up in the air. That's going to be a nice shortcut.
This is the same part I was saying in the other set that came in trans light blue, and it does have a 2x4 base as well. So it's got a strong base that you can put on something, and it won't tip over easily. So, yeah, I totally agree. It's definitely, and you could basically take two of those together and pin them together or whatever to make a completely circular base. I see those being used maybe in some kind of a Roman Greek type like building or something in white or whatever, like as columns or something like that. I could see them using it for something like that. Speaking of which, go ahead.
They're in hot pink in my building above. But
that doesn't have the base on it, right? It doesn't have the tiled base. It's a 2x2 brick, I think. Base.
I think it is a 2x2 brick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There was also a rumor, and just before we continue on, there was also something I saw on Instagram today or yesterday that Lego is copyrighted a new theme called Dreams with 3 Z's behind it. That's for 2023-ish. And there was a lot of ideas of what it could be. And personally, I was just thinking, kid falls asleep and he starts imagining worlds. So is this a way for them to bring into the product line another way of doing space castle pirates, things like that, or just fantasy type stuff as well, to get around some of the other theme limitations that they have, because they can't do space because of Star Wars, they can't do castle because of Harry Potter, they can't do pirates maybe because of Pirates of the Caribbean, if they're going to do any more sets of that in the future. So just some thoughts. I don't know. I'm totally guessing.
With a name like Dreams, they could go anywhere with that, literally anywhere with that. So it certainly doesn't limit them by calling it.
Exactly. Yeah, as long as they can keep it going and it's a good theme. Exactly. Axel, I have not heard about a Miss Marvel mech. I haven't seen anything on that, but I haven't really been active on Instagram or anything today, so I don't know. And blue horses will be in demand, and blue hot dogs pieces and black hot dog pieces is what. Oh, Sam Blue. Ben is saying he likes those. Years ago, we had someone try to order 10,000 black hot dogs in one of our lug bulks. And yeah, anyways.
I will trade you some eyeballs for some black hot dogs.
There you go. As Marvel has shown, dreams are the multiverse. Oh yeah, it could be. Different versions of our own world. Things like that. Well, of course, in Marvel, they were saying dreams are the multiverse. I got that. Okay, last up, the Lego Atari, which is kind of our topic for tonight. Lego announced the Atari set, the 2600, last week, or no, earlier this week, and it's thank you, Dave. I forgot.
You're welcome.
Put that up. It's $299 Canadian, 2,500 pieces, built by Canada's own Chris McVeigh out in Nova Scotia, who moved to Lego to build. He was the first. His first stuff was the the art pieces of the Batman and Iron Man, the Marvel, like those art tiled ones. I'm trying to think what they were actually called. Basically, it's like a plate version of a Batman picture and like a Spider-Man or Batman and anyways, Iron Man. I forget what they're called. But anyways, he started with that, and he's the designer of the Atari. He's also well known for pre-Lego. He did a lot of small computer desk type scenes, and we build like Macs and things like that out of Lego in smaller scale.
And he's Canadian.
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Canada's own. But yeah, and he's Canadian, in case we didn't mention that yet. So the Atari has a slide back console. you can slide back the slide, and there's hidden inside is a little theme scene of the guy playing on Atari. It also comes with 3 game cartridges and a holder for the cartridges, and it also then has a little vignette of each of the cartridges to kind of show what it was like. We'll continue with the conversation about this set in a few minutes once we finished off the news, but keep this in mind as we're talking. It also comes with a joystick, and it's an Atari, so
An old Atari.
an old Atari. Well, yeah, I mean Atari. This is to celebrate Atari's 50th year of being in existence. Coincidentally, it's also their 30th year of going bankrupt or shutting down. So I'm not sure which one we're celebrating. Probably the first versus the third. But anyway, so we'll get into the chat about this in a few minutes. But it's a cool set. I mean, I get why they built it to honor his history, but it's got quite a small sub.
It's quite a niche product.
Yeah, that's what our topic is. It's the fact that how many are they going to sell? But we'll get back to that. Lastly, there's a few articles here. Actually, just three things from New Elementary. They've been fairly busy the past week. And New Elementary first did a thing, or today released a review of the 1x2 plate.
1x2
1x2 brick. 1x2 brick or plates. 2 plates together, or not quite a full plate. But they just did a quick review of it, and there was some interesting techniques that I saw in here. It's been showing up a lot in Speed Champions. I've been building a few, like in this Speed Champion that I built. They use it 3 or 4 times easily in here as well. Instead of using 2 1x1 plates, use one of these, and it has the hole in it, which makes it very useful for other things, like candle holders, and it's the same height as a headlight brick on its side, which is interesting as well. It fits in well with other parts that used to only accept bars, so we can get a little bit more fun techniques in. So I think it's a very useful part. It was also on the Buzz Lightyear ship.
Yep.
On the side here. This is actually kind of a nice effect too, because if you just want a little dot there, you can now do it with still having a square background. Also holds the lipstick piece together. So here's a new snot technique, or here's a new inverted plate technique, right? To get studs on both sides. So, and then someone was doing it as an arch here as well. So there's a little bit of.
That was one of the parts that I squeaked in and got on Bricks and Pieces before they shut it down. And I didn't get a ton. I think I got like 8 or 12 of each color. But I have enough that if I want to play around with them, I have at least a handful to work with. So
yeah, the problem was when they were available, they weren't really available in a lot of good colors, right? I think they were in white and a few others, but
I think it was white, black, and light gray. I think that was it. So I think it was.
No, it wasn't light gray. Light gray's new.
Okay.
I think light gray first came in the castle. I think that hasn't released yet. That hasn't arrived at my house yet because I haven't ordered it yet, but I will one day. I will.
The weird thing about storing that particular piece is that it almost looks like a 1x1 brick, but it's not. It's 1 plate short, so you could easily like missort it into your loose parts. Or the other one that also gives me fits is the new 1x5 plate, which I bought about 8 of them, and I threw them in the drawer with the other plates. And I was.
They just disappeared.
Well, no, I was sorting them, and I'm like, okay, here's the 1x6s, and here's the 1x4s. I'm like, oh, that must be. Wait, that doesn't match up. Oh, that's right. There's a 1x5.
Axel's saying a 1x1 plate is now called a 1x1 by 1/3 brick. No, we're not going that far.
Well, it's 1x1 by 2/3 brick.
Well, no, but a 1x1 plate is now. Oh. Yeah. So, and I'm happy that it's not a half height plate. Like it's not a half a brick, right? Because that's what Mega Block did. They created half brick heights. But yeah, I can see this piece definitely being in demand a lot. And this is a cool little Buzz and
socks.
Thank you. I was gonna say spot, and I knew that wasn't right.
Socks.
Anyway. The next up, Old Great Bricks. New Elementary did a review on the Knights King Castle, and I drooled because I just want about 1,000 copies of this page of parts. Like, I
Hey,
thought
it's
that was
only $400 US for a copy. You know.
$500 Canadian.
Oh, just drive to Buffalo. I'm sure it's worth saving the $100.
I don't think the price difference would make it. It's a 20%, 20 or 30. I think it's 30% difference in Canadian US prices, 25 to 30.
Yeah.
So it won't matter. But yeah, we'll go very quickly. Just the new 1x8 mold, 1x4 mold for the arch, which will make a 1x8 arch. They've compared that against the current 1x5 arch. And how it would work in well with these rounded plates as long as you put a jumper or a bracket underneath it. This new part as well, which is the inverted half curve that we have. The only thing I'm not too fond of is this part here because it sticks out. Like I wish it was the inverted to the one that I used on my castle, like just the 1x1x2 curve piece, but just with an inverted stud. I get why they did this as extra support and it'll hold on better. But you know,
my only thought about that piece is that it's very specific, and I mean, I could see myself using it on the edge of a building, but it's the kind of piece that if I get 20 of them, it might sit in the drawer for 5 years before I use it.
Well, if these come out in white, gray, or black or dark gray, I could see a lot of spacers loving it as the bottom of a spaceship or something like that, or a module or something, right? Like
because it's gonna get that organic feel or curve. Yeah,
for sure. So also all the these are the recolors. So like I said, light gray and dark gray in that new 1x1x2 plate, 1x2 2/3 brick. Yeah. There's well, a bunch of them. I'm not going to go over all of it just because. Dark green tree though is also interesting. A dark green short tree.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
And isn't one of them in black, or is it a trophy in black?
The trophy figures in black.
Got it.
And like the hat for I want to say the nun's hat, but that's not what it is. Just the medieval type hat. I think it was available in a different color previously, and I think it was one of the collectible minifigs had it in a different color, but I forget what it was.
I'm excited to see the curved brick, both the corner piece and the straightaway. I think those I can see using a lot of.
Same.
And trims, and certainly Space Guys would probably be excited about those as well.
I right away when I see that, if it was in white, I would just think a rain gutter type thing, upside down. Of course, it wouldn't look right from the top, but it would look right from the bottom. New prints. Look at all these beautiful shields. I mean, technically, some of these aren't new prints, but they never were printed originally because they were stickers.
No, they were stickers originally.
The horse bardings, the castle livery. Oh, I'm in love. New fabrics as well. The flags.
It's going to cost you
some rarer elements as well.
It's going to cost you, Jeff.
Well, I'm wondering how much I can sell the figs. Let's be honest. I was going to say I would buy the set and sell. No, I think I said I would buy the set and sell the parts and keep the figs and the accessories and stuff. But let's face it, I'd probably keep the whole thing if I bought it
all. You're going to keep it all.
The horses and the cow, or the cow and the baby sheep.
This is one moment where I'm very thankful that A, I don't build castle, and B, I don't care about gaming platforms because I just saved myself a lot of money today.
Yes, you did.
And lastly, there was the Technic Airbus I was going to say Airbus A380, but that's not right. The H-175 rescue helicopter. Reason I pulled this up is because there's a new rotor piece that is a 5-directional part. And while I don't really care about helicopters or rotors necessarily, this part is going to be very interesting for Lego Math.
And for flowers. It'll show up. I can almost guarantee you it's going to show up in a botanical set. I went to the workshop at Brickworld with the lady who makes extraordinary flowers, and one of her kind of complaints was that almost all the pieces that you use as the base part for flower petals are even numbered. So it's 4, 6, or 8. And she was commenting how difficult it is to do a flower that has 5 petals. Well, that's going to open up the door for odd-numbered flower creation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And they have this new ball mechanism. Like all 3 of these parts kind of go together to be the rotor. So it's like a 5-blade and a 4-blade above, as far as I remember, as you can see here. and on a gimbal, so it can rotate properly. There's also this piece as well, the Technic Lift Arm with 5 spokes.
Yeah, I sent that in a text to one of my friends, and I'm like, "Hello, flowers."
Yeah. And it has some interesting math on it, of course, because it's Lego.
Wow. It looks like somebody's like,
that could also be useful if you're trying to put in some movement using like a motor or something. It would like kind of create a weird kind of movement. So
yeah,
something that's a little asymmetrical, like a little has like a little hitch in the motion.
Yeah.
I'll let smarter people than me figure that out.
Yeah, and smarter and more technical people than us.
I'm just reading this. I'm trying to figure out if it's actually physically connecting to the ball joint piece, but I don't think it is, or to the turntable piece. I don't think it is, but there's also what is this? A hub, power it up, 2-port non-Bluetooth.
Oh, a power up.
Non-Bluetooth screw opening. Yeah. I'm not sure much about it. I don't know enough about this. Oh, it's like a different style, I guess. Anyway, I didn't read this full article. New parts in yellow. The ring gear is already, oh no, that's in lighter yellow, the butter yellow. Oh no, that is the ring gear. Oh, by the way, that neon yellow color, I recently bought the Lots of Dots set, or the alphabet expansion pack or whatever for dots, which is just all the curved tiles and stuff. And I thought the letters were yellow, and when I opened the box, it was bright yellow, neon yellow, and regular yellow, and then there was the oranges as well. And when I threw them all in the same bin, I couldn't realize that the yellow, I thought the original yellow was orange, because that neon yellow is so bright, it forces your eyes to think that the yellow, the normal yellow, is extremely dark. And it just, well, I mean, even here, this is the regular yellow. Oh, sorry. Even here, this is the regular yellow. This is neon, I believe.
So it looks, the old yellow looks orange.
It looks orange compared to neon yellow. So it's just really weird on your eyes. It plays you a trick. So the hub has screws so you can open the lid. Yeah, it's the battery box. I just wasn't sure. I don't know enough about the powered up stuff because I don't own any of it to know what's interesting about that. So anyway, that's it for now. I think for this, I don't know if there was anything much. Oh, a new rotor piece, or new to me rotor piece. Maybe there's a better way to say it.
Ooh, big red radar dish.
Is that red or is it
dark red? Maybe.
Oh yeah, it is red.
Red.
It always looks like it doesn't look like the right color, but again, my eyes might be goofed up because of that yellow. Motor.
Well, and the lighting can make a difference too. You know,
this is true. Yeah, the gears. Anyway, stickers. All right, we'll close this because that's enough of it. And not yet release sets. Just the stuff we've talked about today has been added to this list. In a couple of weeks, a bunch of it will drop off. What are you, Uwe?
Oh, just the Star Wars Advent, and I just didn't know that there were that many not yet.
Well, not these are all announced in one shape or form, either leaked through.
Okay.
Either leaked from a distributor's website or directly announced from Lego. There's only really a few in here that aren't on Lego's website directly, or they haven't announced, and that's like the polar bear set here, the Christmas polar bear. I don't believe this one's been announced yet.
Yes, we did talk about it, Jeff.
We talked about it, but it's not officially on Lego.com yet.
Oh,
what about this? Is the Christmas one official? Because I haven't seen any. The Santa, though, up at the top.
It's a Duplo set. Wait, Santa. Hold on.
Right there, Santa's gingerbread house.
Right.
Go back
there. Oh yeah. This is Duplo.
Is it Duplo? Oh,
yeah. It is actually on. I think it's on Shop at Home. Hold on. Let me pull up the spreadsheet of. I won't say the spreadsheet of doom, but let me pull up the spreadsheet here. Yeah, Santa's gingerbread house is definitely on there.
Okay.
Duplo, but like the Beijing London postcards aren't listed yet. The advent calendars aren't on Shop at Home yet. The ATST set which is, don't get too excited, Matt. It's a
little
small
one.
Yeah.
Well, I already have UCS one, and I don't really want to buy it again, so I'm fine with it being another big one. Yeah. Oh,
it's
wow.
just
It's a
Ewok.
junior. Yeah,
It's a for juniors, but it's an Ewok builder pack.
But you get an Ewok and an ATST driver.
Yeah.
It's probably a pass.
There you go.
It's fine.
But yeah. So, and this one might be on my August 1st list. If I do buy something, I might buy this guy right away.
Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun.
Van Widden. Jeff Van Widden.
How much of that is chrome? I mean, I'm always kind of
the bumper and the horns. That's it.
The horns would be exciting.
And the wheel rims.
I think something similar to that in the shiny has already appeared, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, I don't know, honestly, but
when the chrome gold and the chrome silver first showed up in like the Lunar Lander set, I think it was, and the chrome gold and silver was available for our bulk lug as a potential piece, I pushed hard to get the 1x1 chrome on the list because I was under the false assumption that it might be our one shot to get these in any kind of quantity, but it looks like they keep using the chrome pieces. So
the one thing that going on that trail is the chrome bricks are the problem. They've only ever had a 1x8 chrome brick.
Agreed.
And the only other thing that had a brick profile was a 2x2 45-degree slope. So I bought a bunch of those over years to build things in chrome. I have a minifigure display stand that's in chrome, and they have done tiles. They've got lots of tiles and things like that, but they haven't done a lot of the bricks. And I think the bricks are just because of the wear. If you build them enough, you're going to wear out the chrome effect on them and go back down to the color underneath it because they are actually like
layered.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think too it's a problem with tolerances because I think the chrome lacquer rests on top, and so it's slightly thicker.
Yeah.
And if you start, building on top, that screws up the tolerances, and I think that's probably why we're not going to get a bunch of bricks.
Yeah, I agree. It just sucks because So Axel Plate's asking us who will get the UCS Razor Crest, which hasn't even been announced yet, but we know Matt will get it because it's UCS. I don't know that I will, but
I have all the UCS ships, I think, except for the TIE Interceptor, which I was rebricking. I should probably finish rebricking that, but I've gone back and rebricked the old ones, and I bought all the new ones. I think the only other UCS thing I haven't done is the Death Star 2, which I started rebricking that. It's just kind of ugly.
Yeah.
I would love for them to redo Death Star 2 as a new set, and I would just happily toss the rest of my bricks back into my sort pile.
Fair enough. I think I stopped after the A-Wing or the Y-Wing. The Y-Wing or the Snowspeeder. I think those were my last UCS sets. Since then, I don't think I've ever bought one.
UCS Star Wars is literally what brought me out of my dark age.
Agreed. Same for me. When the X-Wing TIE Fighter originally came out in '99, that's what pulled me back out after like a whole 3-4 years away from Lego. So it was a mild dark age. I was high school. I was just finishing high school and getting into college when they announced those sets. So actually, I was 2 years in. But anyway,
30-year dark age. I think I went from like 85 to like 2005. When the UCS Star Destroyer, which is right up there, that was literally one of the first sets I bought. I had a damaged box one that was here at our Atlanta Lego store, and I also bought the Death Star 2, which I never opened, and I only paid $125 for it.
Oh wow!
And then I sold it in 2020 for $1,300.
Wow!
I will never, ever, ever have a markup on a set like that. No. Never happen.
Never. Hello, Highland Bricks, joining us first time live. And Speed Champions, he's saying Speed Champions. They are saying, I don't know who they, whatever. Speed Champions are the best bang for their buck adult sets. I agree.
There's some good parts in those. Like I bought the Tube vehicle set that had the teal dark turquoise in it just for the parts. I built it once, tore it down, put the parts in my build.
They're definitely fun to build too.
Yeah, they're fun to build. Lots of interesting techniques because they have to fit everything in a small area. A lot of little parts, but a lot of good parts, like all the brackets and things. So yeah, I definitely agree. They're one of my favorites, to the point where I have a
rack.
A rack that is too deep now, holding Speed Champions. So yeah. But we should probably get to our topic, because we're already an hour and 29 minutes in. And
there's a topic.
Yeah, of course there's a topic. We go all out here, Matt. And the topic is what we were talking about earlier, the Atari sets, the Adidas shoe, the typewriter, for example. These are sets, or these are things that are considered vintage, in my opinion. The Adidas shoe was originally from 1970. And it's the original Adidas shoe, and that's why they made a little set for it to honor it. But is there a profitable market? Does Lego make? I mean, Lego obviously makes money on selling sets, but are they able to? Can they justify the cost of these sets, or like, do they sell enough units of these sets in order to make it profitable? And in some cases, the answer is yes. The Adidas shoe, do you think they've ever sold enough of those?
Like I previously said, these are niche products. They're like they're targeting very specific parts of the market. I mean, it's not aimed at the general public or kids, or it's specifically aimed at some people who have, I don't know, they liked Atari video game systems when they were younger. They had one there, and now they're adults with lots of income, obviously,
because they're over 50.
Yeah,
pretty much. Right? Like, I mean, when the Atari in 80, when the Atari set came out, I was 5. I remember playing it at my cousin's house a few years after that.
I was 6, so
I mean, same thing. So it's like, it's just, I would just say slightly over our age range, more into Matt's age range. Sorry, Matt, you are a little bit older than us.
I'm almost 52, and I remember my friends having that. I did not have it, but I remember. So yes, it's my age demographic, and we are in our peak earning years, as the economists like to say.
True enough.
So,
and yes,
the one thing I would say about your question, though, is that there's the short run perspective of, are we making money on this set? And I would say the answer is yes. I mean, we're not seeing these sets get blown out at super duper markdown.
Yeah, true.
As opposed to say DC girls super high school sets, which got blown out. I mean, I don't think they may have lost money on that. But generally speaking, Lego's at least like breaking even. They don't make stuff that they lose money on.
No, well, I mean, they're probably paying less than a penny a piece and selling it for 10 to 20 cents or above.
I mean, their wholesale price is 50% off.
Yeah, but are they considering all the time and effort that is put into designing the product? And
yes, they are. So when the family stopped making all the day-to-day decisions, and they hired an accountant, if you listen to interviews with the accountant, he came in and he said, so how much does it cost to make that set? And they were like, oh, we don't know. It just looked cool, so we made it. And he goes, no, we're not going to do that anymore. So like, they do cost accounting of design hours, production hours, retooling, raw materials. They calculate that stuff all out to the penny these days. So they don't make sets that they lose their shirt over anymore. Like,
but I mean, sorry, Axel also mentioned the guitar, the NES set. I didn't include these kind of in this conversation because we were chatting about it earlier this morning in our chat, and it's like, well, the guitar can kind of go with the piano and a few other things. They're like the kind of the musical side of things, the jazz orchestra type thing as well. The NES technically goes now with the Atari as gaming things. There's all the cars, like the Coliseum. The Coliseum probably doesn't sell that well, but it's architecture, and if people are collecting architecture, then they're going to collect the Coliseum.
Or the stadium, the
stadiums, yes, the football stadiums, the soccer stadiums. Football because Axel plays on mine. Yeah.
So, but the thing that I would encourage you to think about it, in sales, they have the concept of loss leaders. That is stuff that get you in the store that gets you to buy other stuff. And so like Walmart's famous for this, and Target and other people. But this could even be calculated as a loss leader to get 50-year-olds and 40-year-olds to walk into a Lego store to buy oh my gosh, this brings back
Yeah.
memories of childhood. They build it and then they say, oh, well, what other Lego set might I like to build? Or their spouse says, hey, would you like another Lego set for Christmas, birthday, New Year's?
Yeah. Or
When
another thing that is
yeah,
similar to what they like comes out. And like, yes, I get that they're pulling people in, right? You're going to pull in the gamers who used to love the Atari and probably still own one that you can buy for $200. Apparently, that's the current going rate on an Atari. And this one's $300 Canadian. Just saying, you're paying more for the Lego version.
Yeah.
But
so for,
I get it. But how, like, I don't know how many units can they sell? And I say that, and as I say that, I know, like, the typewriter, for example, is sold out, and it's been sold out a few times. I don't know that the Adidas shoe has been sold out, and I'm starting to wonder if someone is tracking these things to say what sets have sold out and how many times have they sold out to see the popularity. Even if it's like 5,000 units are generated and they've sold out the 5,000 units, if it came back again, you know, you would assume, like, I don't know. No one knows how many units of each of these sets they're actually building, and maybe they're just saying, you know, for this we're going to only build 5,000 units of this set type
well,
thing.
I would point out that, yes, some of them sell better than others. I would also say that the Harley Davidson, I don't think has sold very well.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson's
Oh, that's not
website
fair, yeah.
actually had the Lego set marked down a lot, and I went and bought 2 copies of it, intending to put it in the Bricklink store because it was marked down so much. So I don't think the Harley has sold well, and I don't think the shoe has sold well. But
Yeah.
clearly the typewriter has sold great.
Yeah.
So I think it is probably a hit or a miss thing, but I think they're also strategically trying to bring in 50, 60-year-old people who haven't bought Lego in the past and who
Yeah.
have money. If they want to buy Lego, they often have the income, but it's getting the thing that brings them in the door. So if Lego brings in a 50, 60-year-old person who has never bought Lego in the past, it's a whole new customer that they
Yeah.
can then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it like taking away production time and production
There's that
resources
too.
that they could devote to, you know, because a lot of sets are selling out. We had a spreadsheet going on for like way
Well, yeah.
in the
Half a
past
year
few
we
months,
did it.
after a
Yeah.
year that we did this, and Lego never got up to like 75% of
Yeah.
sets available. So
Of in stock.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
I
let
mean,
me
are these niche products taking away resources that could be used instead to, you know, up the production on the most popular sets that keep people want and people are buying? And
if I'm an accountant, I just say, well, we need to build 2 more factories then.
Well, and they're building a new factory in the States, right?
Yeah. And they just built one in
built
China or
in
Asia. So
Asia, yeah, that's Malaysia, I think it was.
if
Can't
you
remember what it was.
can't
Or
keep it in
Singapore.
stock, that means you need more factories. Not that you're not. It doesn't mean that you're selling the wrong thing. It just means you need more production.
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and I mean,
but they're not going to get that new production for like 2 years now because
yeah,
the factories that were announced, they're going to be in production in 2 years, not in 6 months or.
yeah. But
So,
I mean, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
so I will share something that almost got someone in trouble that they weren't supposed to tell me. So last year, I went to a Lego store, which I will not name, and the person that worked there said, "Oh, well, it's October, and we've already done 3 times the business we did the prior year,
Yeah.
which wasn't a decrease. 2020 was an increase over 2019, and in 2021, they had already done 3 times the sales at their location, and they hadn't even hit Christmas yet."
Yeah.
So the problem with Lego isn't that things are not selling well. It's that literally demand is incredibly high compared to prior years. So if I'm the marketing people, I'm like, hey, we are doing our job. If you folks on the production side, you just can't keep up with the demand. So I don't see how that's a problem for Lego. You know, I mean, unless demand drops off, that's a problem. But they're not having a problem of we're not making sets that people don't want to buy. They're just having a problem. We can't make them fast enough.
Yeah.
You know.
So right now, Lego has 90, so not available or not coming soon, but available now, back ordered, stock out of stock. They've got about 125 sets. that are above $100,
Mhm.
and 25 of those sets are currently back ordered or sold out. And I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, that's marketed towards adults. That's marketed towards adults. That's marketed towards adults. Boost, not so much. Dupe or Education, not so much. McLaren F1 Technic can go partially adults, but I think also kids for like
Well, mostly
teenagers.
adults, because teenagers are not gonna buy that type of.
Yeah, but I mean, and like the heavy duty tow truck again could be,
Yeah, that
but
could be both.
these ones are Duplo and Monkey Kid. The NASA, the Apollo Saturn V, and then you get the Titanic being out of stock, Diagon Alley.
The Titanic is a set I would build if it were there on double VIP points, but it has
Yeah.
never been in stock when there's double VIP at my store.
Yeah. Van Gogh's been sold out. The Chiron, another Technic set. The Daily Bugle, yeah, mostly marketed towards adults as well. Typewriter, DeLorean, Porsche, which I mentioned earlier. Thank God it's out of stock. And I just realized this is actually this is the U.S. site because the Porsche was way too cheap.
But
So
you've
those
got to
prices-
imagine that Lego is doing probably small batches of these, so they don't want to get stuck with a ton of stock. So they're probably
Agreed.
running small batches and they sell out. So if they have to shift the factory back to running them, it's not like it's an enormous number of
Yeah.
sets they're going to build.
Yeah.
Just that, you know, they sell out and they'll put it back into production and it'll come out
Yeah.
down the pipeline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's just going to be
But-
months down the road, right?
But what I'm wondering is Lego hurting themselves in the long run? Because if you're
Yeah.
like us, if you're a fan and you're watching Lego and you're seeing all these sets go out of stocks or out of production or back ordered and
Yeah.
and we know the market, but for someone who's just coming in, like it was dragged in by a new product from Lego or a niche product from Lego,
Yeah.
and he's looking and he's saying, "Oh, I want to buy the Porsche. Oh, it's out of stock. Oh, I want to buy the typewriter. Oh, it's out of stock." Isn't Lego hurting themselves and their reputations by not keeping up with demand? I mean,
Yeah. Have a good night, sis. And yes, Porsche. I know it's with the E. We say Porsche here.
we say
forget
Porsche in Atlanta.
You say what?
We say Porsche in Atlanta, but then we also say soccer. So
Yeah, a lot of these the sets actual saying were the decisions were done long before COVID-19 and Lego boom happened as well.
I mean, to go to David's question, I think it. You know, I can't answer that person because I'm clearly not that person. Like I'm a diehard. I'm a sucker. I will wait for it to come back into production, and I'll get my mechanics at some point, and I'll just wait. You know. But it is a fair question for someone who is an episodic purchaser. Will they be patient? Or some of them for whom money is maybe not an issue, they could just go on eBay or Bricklink and buy it. You can get sets if you are willing to pay extra.
And Lego stores carry the sets that the Shop at Home is sold out of as well. Like I had a friend who was interested in the typewriter and it's sold out. And I walked in the Lego store and it's sitting on the shelf. And I walked into the second Lego store because I was looking for bricks and pieces that day, or for the minifig torsos, and it was in the store, the second shelf, or it was in the second store as well on the shelf. So online it's out of stock because people that live too far away from a Lego store have to usually tend to go online to buy the stuff, right? And online you can get the notifications too. It's like, hey, this set became available, and you literally jump on and buy it right away. For example, the Disney Castle, the little mini Disney Castle, was sold out, came online or became available again late last week, and I ordered it right away. I don't want it, but now that there's a second set, I'm like, you know what? This might actually be worth money. I think this is the first set I'm buying with the idea of holding on to it for a few years and selling it again, because it's only a $50 set, not so much money. If I can make a little bit off of it in the future, there we go, right?
The other thing I'll say as someone who does resell sets is that when I look at the prices on eBay, even when the Lego store is out of them, they're not generally a huge markup. So if you are a customer for whom money is not a huge factor, and Shop at Home is out and Walmart.com is out and Target, you can go to eBay, and if you're willing to pay $50 more, you can probably get the set. It's not an enormous markup. Some sets are enormous markups, but a lot of these sets you can go get them if you pay a little bit extra. Now, not everyone's going to do that, obviously, but for
Yeah.
some people
Of course.
who just have to have it, they can still buy it. They just can't get it from shop at home.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. It scares me, like the fact that some things sell it that badly, and other things like the Coliseum. For me, that's always been the big one, where it's like what $500 call set that they couldn't sell enough of them to get rid of the gift of purchase, so they ended up starting to give the gift of purchase away later on with other things. I think it was right.
I bought it.
And
I mean, I
the
bought it with
Coliseum.
GWP because there was nothing unique in the GWP.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to spend that much money on a set, I put it together and it's at my school office, and students come in and they always talk about it. So it's a great icebreaker.
Yeah, but yeah, for your job, it makes sense to have it. I mean, our friend Maddie, who bought it for her cat to sleep in, because
exactly.
it makes a great cat bed, right?
Cats
Like,
need their beds.
yeah, there you go.
So the other thing that I want to point your attention to is that, you know, in the movie business, they have really shifted towards for the last like 15, 20 years of trying to have huge opening weekends, of getting people to go see a movie on the first weekend. Obviously, COVID put a big spike into that for lots of people. But the one question I keep asking myself is Lego shifting to a big opening weekend model where they want to generate a concern about scarcity, and they want people to go to the store the first day that it's available to generate buzz, to generate excitement. People walk in the store, they're going to buy the Titanic, and oh gosh, while they're here, I'm going to pick up this Brickhead's cat set because it's cute.
Yeah.
So are they trying to nudge consumers to this like opening weekend thing that the movie
get it? Yeah.
For a while?
Yeah.
And if that's
Maybe.
the case, then having some scarcity actually creates that consumer
The need.
logic to get it opening weekend.
All of us are pre-ordering the classic spaceship and the Galaxy Explorer, and pre-ordering things that, like, I've got Groot on pre-order as well.
I go and stand in line. I'm 10 minutes from the store. I get there 30 minutes early, and 2 or 3 of my buds show up, and we stand in line and chit chat together. And
I wish I could be there, but anyway,
good too. We need to get that Canadian American teleporter working.
Teleporting, yeah, exactly. No, because there will just be a lot of Americans teleporting into Canada.
True,
but we're not getting political. Just saying. For the record, that Disney Castle, the Mickey version, is sold out again. No. I don't know how many days it lasted, but
and it was available at my local store when I was in there this weekend. So.
Okay, yeah. So they just got a shipment in, and so if you're looking for it, go to the stores and stuff. But again, online, because you get a notification. It's like, well, I'm going to order it now so that I know I get it.
Yep.
So
think about it. If you're the producer, and you know that if I make 50,000 sets, and if I generate enough excitement, I can sell 35 of the 50,000 sets on the first weekend.
Yeah.
Boom. You get your money back instantly. Like, that's actually a good business model for Lego in terms of getting their money back for what they're producing.
Yeah. Well, and Bricklink Designer Program.
Yeah.
Of which I keep getting an email every week telling me that it's still out of stock, but it will
I've heard.
me.
Yeah, it's been delayed to the shipping to the States on some of those sets, right?
Is that why I'm getting it? Because I've literally gotten an email for the last 4 weeks saying that it's still stuck. I'm like, okay.
It's being delayed. I've been watching the Toronto Lego group. There's a few guys that have ordered stuff, and they're like, yeah, it got delayed again. And they're 8 days. What they're thinking is that it's on a ship somewhere or in a cargo container ready to ship, and the boats are delayed because of lack of boats. So,
I ordered the Venetian. That's the one I ordered. So.
Oh, the Venetian, yeah. You can't really see that, but that big pink area there in the middle,
yes,
that's Peterborough. We're about to get hit by a good storm.
Oh, congratulations!
Or just on the edge of that, yeah. Because I've got a live stream going as well on my other computer of the storms that are coming through. So
it's like the Friends colors are coming to visit you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
it's a friend storm.
It's a friend storm.
There's a couple areas that looking at the picture, like the pink is more intense winds, and there's a couple areas that are like bright white and yellow, which are danger zones, shall we say? It looks like there's just above Peterborough, so I should be okay. But
So you're saying that's gonna hit me tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. I think these storms will die down.
David, are you in
You
Montreal?
might get some through the night.
David, are you in Montreal?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the suburbs of Montreal, but
Laval?
so yeah.
Okay.
Yes, one of these years I'll get up there. One of these weeks, months.
You mean I've been to Montreal and you haven't?
Oh, I've been to Montreal. I've
Okay.
done Lego. I've co-run Lego shows in Montreal.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. That's where we met.
Yeah. Well, no, we met before that.
I was there in
No, we met in we actually met Jeff in Brickhead,
the
Montreal.
one?
Yeah.
And then you came to Toronto after that.
Yeah, after the
okay.
second one.
Yeah, okay.
I was in Toronto in 2003 for the NHL draft, and I was in Montreal in 2009 for the NHL draft. So, and interestingly, when I went to the Montreal, I had become online friends with a Canadian who also studied like quantitative analysis of hockey. This was before it became popular, and it was like 8 of us on a Yahoo group that would talk about hockey. And interestingly, a whole bunch of the people that I used to chat with about now work for NHL teams.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
because
those
of the
people,
event stats and
those people went on to have careers. And my buddy who lives in Montreal, I'm still good friends with him. We're Facebook friends, and he's a computer programmer, so he makes too much money to work for an NHL team in his day job. Anyway, so I went up there for the draft, and I met this guy, Tom Awad. And we went out for a beer and just had a fantastic time. And now he's like, you need to come back. He's like, bring your husband. I want to meet your husband. And so like, I'm Facebook friends with him and his wife, and he's Facebook friends with me and my husband. And so it's one of these odd things where, you know, like I feel like I know them, I know about their kids and stuff like that, but I've never met his wife and he's never met my husband. So one of these times we'll get up to Montreal, so it'll be good.
Cool. Well, when you do, let us know.
Okay,
I'll come up there for sure.
that'd be fun.
I just realized that Brick Snaps was in Buffalo for the past few days. Martin, he's been for business, and he took a picture of Niagara Falls, and I'm like, dude.
just
he probably cleaned out the nearest Brick wall.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. But you know, he's only 2.5 hours away from me, basically. I think roughly 2.5 from my house. I'm like, dude.
I know Toronto has multiple Lego stores. Does Montreal have a store as well?
Well, we have one in Laval, and we have one in Pointe Claire, which is in the western suburb of Montreal. So
okay.
Yeah. Axel Play just mentioned the 72-hour live stream, which actually technically started a few hours ago.
Oh.
Which is more than 72 hours, but this will run through till Saturday or Sunday at midnight. It's basically each channel is taking on an hour or two and streaming continuously for the next 72 hours till Sunday. I will be watching bits and pieces of it here and there. I just discovered it was happening last week, and they actually were starting at Wednesday, like tonight, and I was like, I don't even know if Old Gray Bricks was asked to join it this year because they were in it last year.
Yeah, we didn't. There's been no chatter about it.
No, I haven't heard anything either. So I was hoping to be able to get into it this year because
we're too small.
Is there a place where people can get to know who's doing it?
Yeah, it's just type in Lego 72-hour live stream 2022 and it'll pop up. So
okay.
But yeah, there's a few groups that I know that are in it, but it's I think Julian's doing Sunday night. He's doing an hour long, so we might be able to jump in on that one, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, but we should probably call it because we're at almost 2 hours, and I appreciate you guys because we made it to 2 hours and we've had lots to talk about. Oh yeah, Butt Chop's running it. That's right. Yeah, you had to get a hold of him. Well, I've chatted with him on and off, so I was wondering if he would include me in, like, include our channel or something like that in something, but I missed all the posts about it, I guess, at some point or whatever. But anyways, let's just say goodnight. Oh, Dave's got his. Oh,
We're
Dave's
landing the ship.
Yeah,
I'm landing the ship.
Okay, Dave's landing the ship. I'm gonna land.
and Matt is flexing.
Like spaceships, right? Yeah.
Space.
Oh wait, future spaceship. I'm gonna land the future spaceship. There we go. That's what I want to work on this week. But anyways, we'll chat with you guys later. Thank you for coming out, Matt and Dave.
Thank you, Jeff, for having us.
Again. And we'll talk to you later. I'm hitting the button, so see ya.